What's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you my journey into the deep water culture hydroponic method, and I'm going to be testing out a new light, the Mr. Hua 150 watt UFO light. Alright, so to start this grow, I took some seedlings that I started elsewhere and I stuck them in the actual net pots, and then I filled the reservoir with about 7 gallons of water. I ended up using some fertilizer that I got off of Amazon. This is what I used. You can find the link for this in the description. I just used the recommended amount that the package said to use, and I only dosed this thing with nutrients just once in the very beginning, and that's it. So the entire grow went with just one single dosage of nutrients, which I think is pretty crazy. During this hydroponic experiment, I'm also testing out the Mr. Hua 150 watt UFO LED light, so we'll see how these plants respond to that over time. I started this thing on January 29th. What you're looking at now is growth up until February 7th. They seem to be taking quite well to the hydroponic solution and the lights. I don't have any tip burning or anything, so they're doing pretty good. And then when you look inside, you can see that the roots are actually starting to protrude from the net cups. There is a weird brown sediment that's in there, and it shouldn't be algae because I have everything covered up pretty well and I don't think light is leaking into the container. But whatever it is doesn't seem to be harming anything. Maybe it's extra nutrients, or because I use tap water, there's just some sort of sediment that's in the water that I'm not aware of. Just 5 more days has passed, and you can see these things are really taking off and they're really taking to the light. When I was inspecting the plants though, I noticed that the one in the back corner was looking very different. The one in the back corner to me looks pretty sick, so I want to get it out of this setup as soon as possible because I'm not sure how fast disease can spread in a deep water culture. Because I don't actually know if it's sick, I'm going to just put it aside in a different container and I'm not going to kill it. Lucky for me, these 3-inch net pots fit really well into mason jars, so you can kind of quarantine any plant that seems sickly. The lettuce leaves have blotches of really thin parts on them and I'm not sure what's causing it. And on certain parts there's these weird bumps protruding from the leaves. So I'm just going to set this one aside and leave it grow on its own, but to keep it far enough away from the rest of the lettuce. It's been another 10 to 11 days. As you can see, the lettuce plants are about the size of my hand now, at least in height, and they're very firm and they can hold up their own selves. As I hit the plant, I can really feel it push back, so I know they're doing well and healthy. Here are the plants again, but with the grow light turned off. That way you can get a much better idea of what color these plants are and how healthy they actually look. I also don't notice any tip burn yet, so I would say this light is doing pretty good at providing just enough light for them to grow, but not too much where it starts to burn them. When I opened the reservoir and took a look at the roots, I was pretty amazed and shocked at how much they actually grew. It hasn't been that much time and these things are actually saturating the pots and taking up a ton of space. The chard though looks a little different than the rest of the lettuce plants, and I'm not sure why. Our chard is growing a lot slower than I imagined. This is again my first time growing these, so I'm not sure what to expect, but at least there's a ton of new leaves forming, so I think it'll be a nice big healthy plant. Sadly, we have another plant that fell victim to a disease, or I'm really not sure what's wrong with it, but this was just a basic spinach plant and it does not seem to be doing so well. The nice thing about doing a deep water culture rig is when you need to remove plants, it's as simple as just pulling them out. You don't have to try and dig anything up or make sure you remove every bit of plant matter in case it's diseased. Here's a quick look at the lettuce plant that we quarantined about 10 days ago. It's still growing, but it looks a lot different than the main ones. Maybe this is because it's under a weaker light, I'm not sure, or if it's the disease that's affecting it. About another 15 days have passed and it is March 3rd. This is about where I'm going to harvest it because I'm not sure how much longer you can let these go before they start to bolt. As you can see, these plants have gotten huge. And this has been probably a total of 45 to 50 days growing since I started them from seeds. So I think they did pretty darn well, especially using this light and deep water culture, which I've never done ever. So for my first experiment, I think they did really well. Let's take one last look at the roots on the underside. Our roots are huge. If you look at these roots, I mean, they're just gargantuous. That's awesome. So far I didn't fill up any water or nutrients when I grew this. It all was the same as when it started. We got chard here, doing well. Our lettuce is just absolutely massive. I wish I didn't lose some of the plants I did early. Here, let me show you one of them. This was one of the lettuce plants that I kind of quarantined. It still managed to grow, but I was kind of spooked when it started to look sickly and I didn't want it to affect the rest of the crop. But yeah, the Swiss chard made it. As you can see, I think I just broke a leaf. But yeah, the Swiss chard kind of grew. I expected it to get a little bigger than it did, but it's not bad. It's sad that we lost the spinach also to like what looked like a disease, which you saw earlier in the earlier footage. But yeah, overall, I'm super happy about this experiment. This was my first like deep water culture that I attempted, and it produced a lot. So I guess I'm probably gonna harvest this stuff tonight and maybe eat some of it. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of start chopping away at this. I really don't know what I'm doing. I've never harvested lettuce. Ooh, that's a good one. This has got a little bit of burn. So we'll just see you later. Done with that. Oh, we got another big piece. Wow, not even a whole plant, and we already have a full bowl. You can make a salad with this. Alright, so I'm going to try and clear away just this first plant so we can kind of see the other plants better, because it's been kind of blocking. Alright, there, that one's good. I suppose we could eat this one. This one's got a little bit of tip burn, but I think it's still edible. Some of these bottom leaves, maybe you can't see it so well. They're like kind of flimsy, like not so good. But these were the very first leaves, so it's, I guess, understandable that they're gonna be kind of floppy like that. But man, just look at this. Wow. It's so tangled too. Look at the size of this lettuce. I mean, this is massive. I never would have expected this. Wow. Let's cut one more. By the way, I have a cold, so I probably sound a little weird. But that's alright. There's another good one. I guess we'll just trim these top ones off. One thing I don't know is if they're supposed to reach this high. Because this was the, I think this was Black Simpson. Maybe I'm wrong. And then this one was the matchless or match head lettuce. But this one's more compact ball type lettuce. So I'm curious why these grow tall like this. Maybe that's just what they do. I'm not really sure. But anyways, from one lettuce plant we have so much. We'll cut these little ones off. There is some tip burn on this one. This one suffered a lot more. But man, it's crazy. And this chard, I guess we can cut some of this. I've never eaten this before. Is that a good healthy piece? I don't know. We'll find out when I eat it. I'll try and cut some of the ones that are hanging. Another big piece. Just wow. Well, maybe two more. Alright, we'll leave the other ones grow for now. But look at this. One lettuce plant and just a little bit of chard fills this whole bowl. It's crazy. Wow. But yeah, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to make a salad out of this. And look how much we got left. This is a huge plant. I almost want to chop the whole thing off just to see it. Wow. Alright, well I guess I should taste test this stuff. It tastes fine to me. I don't know. I've never had this before. It's nice and crunchy at least. It's real fresh. I hope you can actually eat this stuff raw without dying. I don't know. Let's try this. Seems pretty good. Seems like any other lettuce I've had, I guess. I don't know. When I watch other YouTubers, I'm always like, wow, it's the best stuff I've ever had. But I think it's just good. It tastes fine. But this one's huge. There's going to be a lot of food out of here. And this guy is kind of forming like a
core to it, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. And this was just a hydroponic lettuce and deep water culture stuff. So I mean, it worked for just a simple test and experiment. It got what I wanted, and if I didn't lose the other 2 plants, and instead of chard I grew more lettuce, I'd have 6 huge heads of lettuce, which I think would have been nice. And that was all done with just a 150 watt light. I think this one is by Mr. Hua, and it seemed to do the trick.
Well, that pretty much wraps up this video. If you guys liked it, please give it a like, and if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button. That really helps me out. It helps encourage me to make more videos. And again, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.